This is almost a $2,000 version of the Steelcase Leap V2 if you buy it from Steelcase, the genuine leather version of the Leap, version 2. But if you buy it from OfficeLogix, you can get it for far less than even half that price. And so we're gonna use this chair today to give you the adjustment guide of how to really properly use this chair. First, we're gonna start off with the simple stuff. On this side, on the right side, is the height lever. This controls the pneumatic cylinder all the way up and down. Very nice, very simple, standard in most chairs. Next, we're gonna talk about the arms. They go up and they go down using this button right here on the side, which releases it and goes up and down. And you can, these are, the left and the right are independent of each other, so you can have various heights if you ever wanted that. Next, we have the sliding arms. They slide forward and backward, which is really convenient. You also have a inward and outward position of the Leap V2 arm pads, in addition to the vertical slides. Then, on top of that, you have just a pivot, inwards and outwards. So this makes the Leap V2 arms rather versatile in terms of the position that you want. Still not as versatile as the gesture, but one of the most versatile arms. Next, we're going to talk about the seat depth, which is really important for anyone who is taller or shorter than average. You want your feet to be flat on the ground. You want a close to near 90-degree angle for the back of your knees. So we're gonna lower it a little bit to reach that 90-degree angle. And you're gonna want around 2.5 to 3 fingers length of space between the back of your knee and the edge of the seat. The seat depth is gonna be a lot easier to manage when you're standing up and put your foot on the base so it doesn't slide away. You're gonna lift this lever here, which is on the right side when you're facing the chair, on your left side when you're sitting, and you're going to push it in. So the back here has less space between the seat, edge of the seat, and in fact, actually the back will be over the seat edge of the back. And then that is proper for a shorter individual, probably under 5'6", 5'7", and then all the way out if you're closer to 6 feet and above. This is where, if you're a much taller person, you want that added depth so that your feet are not feeling like they're just hanging over the chair with no support under them. So I'm gonna adjust this according to what my needs. So this is too much. It's almost hitting the back of my knees. I don't want that. I'm gonna adjust it so it's a little bit shy of the back of my knees with that 3-finger depth. Okay, like that. It's perfect. On the right side when you're sitting down, and this is what they call the upper back force in Steelcase, or most commonly known for a lot of individuals, the tension control for the back. Tension control, or what Steelcase calls the upper back force, is gonna control how springy the back is when I sit back against it. So when I go like this, and I lean a little bit forward, how fast does it come back, right? So if I'm heavier, I want more force so I don't fly back like this. If I'm really heavy, probably talking about like 200 plus, right? So you want to increase it so that it increases the amount of resistance it gives you. See, it's giving me a little bit more support. If I'm lighter weight, that's gonna feel really stiff, as almost if it's locked, and I want to push it backwards. So I'm gonna go towards the minus sign backwards, and that's gonna make it loose. Now I wanna show you what happens if you're a heavier individual like myself and you put it all the way back. It's gonna feel like I have zero support and I'm flying back. That's not a good feeling. And so a lot of people, like when they first try these chairs, they don't know that, and they think, oh, the chair back is broken, I'm not getting any support, I'm flying back in the chair. It's just simply, you haven't adjusted the tension, or what Steelcase calls the upper back force. So you wanna adjust it a few spins until you hit that sweet spot where it's giving you resistance, but at the same time, you're not flying back with the own weight of your body. Now that that's adjusted, we're gonna talk about the back stops, is what Steelcase calls it, or tilt stops, some of the other companies call them. So what's really cool about the Steelcase chair is that a lot of companies, even if they do provide a backstop, it's a 90 degrees or nothing. So you're locked at 90 degrees or you can go all the way back. However, Steelcase has multiple clicks that I'm gonna go through. So all the way forward is 90 degrees. One click after that is 110. Third click is 120. Fourth click is 140. And then all the way back. So that's the 5 clicks for it. And then after that, once that's adjusted properly, you're gonna wanna control the lower back firmness. This controls the lower back firmness. And basically it's a fancy way to describe how much pressure the lumbar is going to put against your back through the chair, because the lumbar is going to be forced forward or backward through this mechanism right here. So if I push it forward, it's gonna push that lumbar closer towards the back of my back, and it's gonna feel like it's tighter and firmer. If I make it looser, going backwards, it's gonna feel like there's less support, and actually you'll feel that the lumbar is moving backwards away from your back. So it's making less surface area contact with your back. So that being said, this is a good transition to the lumbar. Now we're described how to adjust the firmness of that lumbar, how much it protrudes inwards or outwards. We're gonna describe how to adjust the height of the lumbar. So if you're taller, your lumbar part of your back, they call it the L series of your vertebrae, all that usually wants a little bit more support. And so that's gonna be higher on a taller person. So you're gonna want that lumbar support higher. And you're gonna reach a notch eventually where it stops. You do not want to go above that notch because that's the highest the lumbar can go. And make sure when you're adjusting these lumbar supports that you actually do it concurrently on both sides at the same time, because that way you can keep the lumbar perfectly horizontal and not slanted in any way, shape, or form, which will give you an uneven support. You can go all the way up or you can go all the way down. Make sure you do not go past the notches, because then that will dislodge the lumbar support, which can be reapplied, but this is gonna be a hassle, and it's gonna require you to take that back off if that ever happens. With regards to the lumbar support, generally if you're taller, you want your lumbar support up higher. Generally, if you're shorter, you're gonna want it lower. However, this is gonna be something that's a personal preference based off of where you feel the pain and weakness in your back, if you have one. And that's where you're gonna probably want to put that lumbar support there to give that support for that weakened part of your back. And you can then further adjust that after you put the height by controlling the firmness, what they call the lower back firmness in Steelcase.